Have you ever wanted to cringe at your own behavior, but ended up laughing at yourself instead? You'll often hear people laughing at themselves as they become more self-aware, saying things like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. That is hilarious." Or, "There goes my inner people pleaser again. I just gotta laugh. My perfectionist is having a fit right now, but it's okay, I'm only human." Or, "My inner critic is so uptight. She could really use a vacation." Exploring your various aspects can be illuminating as well as highly entertaining. This process does not need to be dull, boring, dry, or painful in any way. In fact, it can be as humorous as you can make it, and I highly recommend making it a comedy. You can think of it as free entertainment. One of my friends and fellow mastermind partners, Sherry Galvanized Zampelli, had an aspect of herself that she named Jeb, which she vividly described as an overweight hillbilly with a flabby beer belly hanging over the front of his pants, plumber's butt, and a big old wad of tobacco in his jowl. He had judgmental and prejudicial behaviors towards others, including name-calling and criticism, while he remained perfectly oblivious to his own faults and limitations. Not only was her description of this part of herself funny for other people to hear when she shared her insights, but she was able to use the humor to lighten up her own healing process, literally cracking herself up every time she mentioned this aspect. By using humor to laugh at this part of herself, Sherry was able to begin to soften up her attitude, to let go of her defensiveness, update her irrational beliefs, own her projections of judgment, clear her self-judgment, and see that this part of herself, which she named Jeb, had some traits that were really quite wonderful. He lacked self-consciousness. He didn't care what other people thought. He was able to let it all hang out. He was honest with his feelings. He had oodles of self-confidence and more. In other words, this part of herself had qualities of honesty, authenticity, boldness, confidence, and other strengths which she'd been attempting to suppress for much of her life. Owning Jeb was liberating for Sherry, freeing up tons of her own personal power, which she can now use consciously towards more meaningful, supportive, constructive pursuits. You see, no part of the self is really bad. There's no such thing as bad from Spirit's perspective, so it becomes part of the healing journey to find the parts of yourself that you've labeled as bad in the past, reach out and then reel them in to the loving, where you can then reap the benefits of claiming their strengths. By letting go of viewing these parts of yourself as bad, wrong, shameful, it will be far easier for you to see how you developed your old unhealthy patterns of behavior. Very likely, these were all behaviors that had been modeled for you as a child by parents, siblings, teachers, and friends. The truth is, you didn't know any other way to respond at the time, and you did the best you could to cope with whatever was occurring in your world. From these realizations, it becomes easy to ask yourself, how's this working for me now? Is this pattern of behavior serving me to continue in any way? The answer will likely be no. So you will be able to choose new patterns of behavior that are more self-supportive. Every aspect of you has an underlying loving motivation. Every part of yourself that has been judged as bad was really just trying to either protect you or get your needs met in some way. These motives are natural, normal, and built-in methods for basic survival. By recognizing that these parts of your personality are the natural outcome of being raised in your particular environment, in your particular level of fear-based reality, with your particular set of irrational beliefs, you'll be able to simply laugh and embrace each and every part of yourself as okay and totally acceptable from the learning perspective. Once you discover what has motivated your behaviors for each of your aspects, then you have the power to look at each part. Identify the irrational beliefs that were motivating these behaviors. Update the beliefs and clear the surrounding self-judgments. After the irrational beliefs have been updated and the judgment has been transmuted, your behaviors will naturally begin to shift, as there will be no longer a reason or a motivation in place for continuing that particular behavior. The new motivation for the new empowering, more loving, updated pattern of behavior will reflect your higher self, your most rational self, allowing you to fall into alignment with your own will, to align yourself with the will of your soul. Upon doing so, you will be free. Is there a part of yourself that still makes you cringe with shame, embarrassment, or self-loathing? See if you can begin to look at that aspect with some lightness. Begin to find the humor in it. Maybe even laugh at yourself. You may want to draw a funny picture of that part, or cut out a picture, cut out a character that reminds you of that subpersonality. Make some jokes about this part of yourself. Laugh at your old irrational thinking and old patterns of behavior. However you go about bringing lightness to your process is okay. I just encourage you to do it. Explore your own character fearlessly with humor, diligence, and commitment. Bringing in the lightness helped me to be able to view all of my aspects with self-acceptance. Accepting all of my parts allowed for rapid healing and integration of my personality, leading me to completely transform my life in every way for the better. Now I feel whole and complete. All of the parts of me are in alignment with the will of my soul. I move forward with joy, authenticity, and courage. If I can do it, you can do it. Say, I'm now viewing my aspects with lots of humor and lightness, laughing at myself whenever possible, as I accept myself fully. Action step. Bring the energy of humor into the exploration of your disowned aspects. Use laughter as a healing tool to help you accept the parts of yourself that you've been suppressing, and then claim your strengths. Declaration. I am now seeing the humor in my various disowned aspects. I'm now viewing these parts of my personality with lots of light and laughter. I now accept myself fully and claim all of my strengths. And breathe that in. Many blessings of joy and vibrant freedom.